So when we say to you that we are eager to co-create with you in this way, those words are not even close to strong enough, because you are the leading edge. You're out here in the leading edge of contrast, stirring up new desires. And when you do, the energy that creates worlds begins moving toward them. And we have the benefit of that movement. In other words, we wrote a book a few years ago. It was entitled Ask and It Is Given. Really a good title, because it is so accurate in the way things unfold. When you, from your physical format, come to the clarity of asking for something, it becomes a vibrational reality in the moment of your asking. And this new asking that you just interjected into your physical conversation meshes, merges, blends perfectly with the asking that you've offered before, and is vibrationally held in focus by the non-physical counterpart of you. That's us and those like us. So when you ask, it is given. And guess who you give it to first? Us. You give it to the source within you, the source from which you made the decision to come into physical form. You came just like you said you would. You explored just like you knew you would. You decided because it is inevitable and you can't help it. And in that decision, there was an expansion of the universe that we all are in on, joyously experiencing. What this workshop is about is, how soon are you going to let yourself in on it? How soon are you going to raise the vibration of your being to the level of your new asking? So when you ask for something, because the contrast is helping you to know that it is really unpleasant not to have this thing that you want, when you ask for something from a conscious awareness that you don't have it, your dominant vibration is in the not having of it. We don't have any conscious vibration about not having anything. We're going with the flow. You can too. So you launch the rocket, we go with the flow, and we revel in watching, just like Esther was watching from afar, so thrilled in anticipation of what was going on with these people that she loves. So much fun to watch people that you care about enjoying life. And that's what it's like for us. We watch you exploring the contrast. We watch you giving birth. We watch your dreams, and we focus only upon your dreams. And we don't take score about whether you've realized them in manifestation. We want you to put a new definition or a new meaning, a new understanding about what realizing your dreams means. Realizing them means you being in the vibrational vicinity of the dreams that you put into the vortex, so that you can realize them as they are flowing into your experience. Most of you, you don't realize it. It's right there in front of you. Esther has a external hard drive that has the contents of everything that mattered to her on it. Many sound files are on it. A lot of the content from a past computer is on it. It is really, really, really important to her. And she carries it with her everywhere she goes, because she's traveling light. She's got her computer, and everything that has ever been meaningful to her is in her terabyte. So she carries it around, and when she gets ready to come out to see you, she has a checklist that she's checking off. And when she came to that, she thought, haven't seen that. It really didn't unpack since the last trip, so it must be right where I left it. And when she looked, it wasn't there. So she looked in all of the logical places that it could be, and it was not there. One of the things that she does, she empties the contents of her suitcase off onto the floor where it is sitting in her office, and then she uses her checklist and puts things back in it one by one, because she wants to make sure before she gets on the airplane that she has her microphone and her hair clip and her terabyte. She wants to make sure that she gets here with what's on her list. So she's going down the list, and when she came to that, she could not find it. So she looked in drawers that she knew she hadn't put it in. She looked in boxes that she knew she hadn't put it in. She could not find it, and a feeling of panic, more panic than any other word describes it, is sweeping over her. So she called Mark and she said, well, I have some bad news and some more bad news. He said, what? And she said, my external hard drive, I've misplaced it. And she said, I brought several over to the IT building this week, but I know one of them wasn't one of them because they have different connections, and I always look. But will you look just to see if I happen to bring it over there? I wiped everything, meaning she erased all the content before she moved it there. Will you look? And so for the next 10 minutes, she is turning over more things in her house trying to find it. And Mark is looking through his stack of orange drives. And then he called her and he said, does it say old MacBook Pro on it? And Esther said, yes, it does. And he said, it's here and it's been wiped. That's all right, because Esther was not as concerned about, she knows she can retrieve it. She was more concerned about not knowing where she had left it. So she said, oh, that is such good news. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then she went to go into the kitchen and tripped over her orange terabyte disk. It had been right there all along. Been right there, right there. It had been right there in plain sight all along. She couldn't believe it. She said, Abraham, what's going on? I think I might be losing my mind, and I think you're in on it, and I don't like it. What's going on? So she picked up her drive, and she went over, and Mark had a drive that said old MacBook Pro, but it was a different drive, and it was written in a different place, and it wasn't, and this was the drive she was looking for, but she could not find it when she believed it was lost, even though it was right there in front of her. Now, friends, Esther's not crazy, but it could not be revealed to her. It could not come into her focus because she worries about that. She knows she shouldn't carry something like that around. It should be in her pocket at all times or here. It shouldn't be behind the curtain in her purse like it is back there where strangers could be. There's no strangers back there, are there? In other words, she's got concern about that drive. She's got concern about that drive, and she gives herself a worry about it on a pretty regular basis because it's really something that's really, really important to her. And when she believed she could not find it, it was invisible to her, even though it was right there in front of her. Now, whether you accept the what must sound like absurdity of this or not, this was the experience that she lived. And she now understands that there are many things like that she wants but doubts, that remain invisible to her as well. And so that's why we say, when you realize something, in order to realize something, you have to be on the frequency with it. And something that you want that's lost and something that you want that's found are very different vibrational frequencies. And if you're on the I can't find it frequency, you can't find it. And it's not because the universe doesn't have it. It's not because it's not in the vortex. It's not because it's not in plain sight. It's not because you aren't worthy, and it's not because you're not ready, and it's not because you've done something wrong. It's for the simple reason that you've just got a different vibration going on right now than it. So you can't realize it, you see. She jumped and screamed as if it had been a snake. And then she laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. She could not get over there fast enough to show it to Mark. She only wished that he'd been in the room with her, although he would have found it an hour earlier, because there it was, and he never panics. She's discovered that he can fix her equipment when she calls him. She calls him her IT guy. He set up all of this. He's not here today. But he, just being on the telephone, before he even tells her what to do, makes things work. Because his expectation of them working out is powerful, you see. So that is our message to you. If there's something that you want that you are not yet realizing, it's only because you're not yet allowing yourself to realize it. It's not because it's being withheld. It's not because it's lost. It's not because it's in the wrong place. It's not for any other reason other than you've got a thought that you keep thinking, and that's all a belief is, that is of a frequency that does not allow you. You see, you think this time-space reality is real stuff. You do. We know you do. We watch you. You haul it around. You clean it. You insure it. You think it's real stuff, but it isn't. It's just manifesting right before you. You are translating it into reality, you see. And you have the ability to translate a whole lot more of it into reality than you are, but you've got habits of not translating it into reality, just like Esther had the habit of not believing that that drive was right where she had last left it, you see. Right where she had last left it. Her carpet is beige and brown. The drive is orange. And she could not see it. We are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. There is nothing off limits. It is our desire to assist you in whatever way we can, with whatever example we have to offer, and whatever words Esther can find to express the meaning that we are giving to her vibrationally, in order to soothe you into vibrational alignment with everything you want. Because it is our desire and our fervent understanding that there is nothing that you want that is unattainable. It's just a matter of tweaking your grid a little bit. And that takes a little bit of practice, you see. What do you want to talk about? Some things. It's going to be a really good day. All right, so we want you to relax and trust that what you want is right before us, do you? The orange drive is right here, easy to see, and whatever it is you want to know will be revealed to you. The only question is, where are you vibrationally in the vicinity of it? We're going to do a really good job of answering everything that you want to know. So what we're asking of you is, do you believe that? Do you believe that this meeting gathered before you dragged your physical bodies here? Do you believe that you've been put it into the vortex so it's bigger even than this moment in time can explain verbally? Do you believe that we have an understanding of what you want that will even go beyond the words that you are able to offer in the few short sentences that you'll offer at the beginning of this? Do you believe that there are others in the room who will be inspired to offer the words that are just what you are wanting to project? Do you believe that it really is co-creating at its best? All right. On the aisle. Stand if you think it's you. And if you'll come here to the very hot seat,